put a new chain and sprocket on the other day, and then I had me off. If you've seen my last video, I had my off. Shiny tyre, cold morning, slipped away. But yeah, when I was doing my chain and that, I discovered some hairline cracks in the sprocket carrier. So now the new one, or the second hand one, has arrived from Fleabay. I'm going to take the wheel off and swap the carrier over, and also do the wheel bearings, being that it's probably been a while since they've been done, and one of them did feel a bit graunchy, so for the sake of whatever it is, thank you Wiimoto. Done me a nice little deal on some bearings, a set of bearings and the seals. Yeah, for the price they are, and I can't for the life of me remember what I got charged, but it's a lot cheaper than having it all seized up. And this is a fairly old bike, and it has been neglected. The guy I bought it off of hadn't used it for about 2 years, left it in the garage. So anyway, so the back wheel's coming off. I'm taking the chain tensioners off, so I've got a bit of play in the chain to get it off. Then we use a big spanner, 36mm, to crack that off. Something like that. Are we there? We're not there. A bit more. There we go. Right, good tip to remember. Put it all down in the order it came off. So you got the nut, the washer, the adjuster. There you go, nice little tower on the floor, and then we should be able to just knock that out. I said should. That should go in. That's better. Right. That's the axle out. You've got your back brake this side, and don't forget you've got your floppy chain to take off. There we go. That's that off. Just hang that over the swing arm, and just watch for your spacers as well. You don't want to be losing them. And on the other side as well. See? On the other side. Let's just pull that wheel out of the way. Right, so that's the wheel out. So what you can do, there's the axle with obviously the other spacer on. What you can do is put it back through and put everything on in the right orientation and order that it came off. And then not only do you not kick them around the shed when you forget they're on the floor, but it's all ready to go back on afterwards. I did grease all them and everything, but they'll get another clean. Right, so we need the sprocket off, obviously for the next carrier to go on. So this should just pull out of your cush drive, which is these rubbers. I'll leave them in the wheel for a minute while I sort this out. There we go. So let's have a look at this. So this is obviously the back of the sprocket carrier. This is your little spacer doobry, which obviously fits between the... Can't get back out now. You know you want to. Oh, you don't. There we go. I'm not putting that back in again. So that is the spacer. Oh, that'll need a good clean. So that's the outer bearing, obviously, and that is the inner bearing. And what this does is sits between the two. So when you do up your axle nut, it doesn't crush the bearings together, so they stay in their respective spots. And you've got another sort of spacer carry on in there, but I'll show you that later. So dump that there. This is the new slash second hand one. So I want to seal off. I'll be fitting new seals, so don't worry about ruining them. And if you're taking them off, it's always worth having the new seal anyway. There you go. I mean, it don't look too dreadful. The inner there is a bit mashed, but it's not worth it, is it? For the couple of quid they probably cost. So that one's slapping out. So we turn that upside down, and obviously you can see it from the top there. We get a drift and knock that out. Good solid sharp slaps, but not all in the same place. So where are you? So you do a couple this side, couple that side, because the bearing in it is in its own slot. If you knock too much one side, it'll probably come out, because this is only alley. It'll come out, but it'll ruin where the bearing's meant to sit, which sort of defeats the purpose. I mean, if you're going to ruin where it's sitting, you just well leave a dodgy bearing in there. So good sharp tap, work your way round, and you can feel it. You can feel it give. That's gone hard because it's level now. Obviously we had the seal in there, so that's obviously sticking proud now. So what I need now is a couple of bits of wood to prop it up and knock it the rest of the way out. So hang on there. So raised it up, get them out of the way. Raised it up on a bit of wood. Couldn't find two the same, but again, it doesn't overly matter so long as we're knocking it out evenly. And all the time you'll feel it give. If it doesn't give, you've probably hit it too many times on the same side. There we go. So that needs a good clean. You see all the build up of crap behind there. A bit swarthy as well. And that is your bearing for your ball races. As I say, this one's cleaning up. check the seating. Obviously I've got to check the seating on this one because I bought this second hand. So I want to make sure it's all right. Or else I'll just as well use the cracked one I've got. Oh, that looks good. But what I'm going to do is get that, get the old sprocket off, and then give the whole housing a good check. I did give a brief check to it the other day when it arrived, and it seems all right. What do we want? More beer. More beer. That's what we want. More beer. Don't attempt this when you're drunk, but feel free to get drunk whilst attempting this. I think that's the wrong size. Yeah, it's not fucking 12, dipshit. It's got to be socket set time. Let's get the sockets out. Got all these things to do in the shed, and one of them is to sort the shed. But there's so much more interesting stuff going on, like changing bearings. There we go, that's better. 14 mil. It's easier when it's in the wheel. Alright, might have to excuse the heavy breathing, but there we go. And the burping. Alright, let's get the other one. Right, so that's cleaned out in there. So I'm just going to stick a bit of white grease on the new bearing, just so it drives home quite nicely. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's symmetrical, so it doesn't actually matter which way it gets shoved in. I think I'll use the old one as a bit of a tap to start with. And again, tap it evenly around, and you can hear it yielding. Isn't. There we go, that's better. Just check it every so often just to make sure you're getting it square. Right, see what else we got, and then just knock it home until you get, well, there you go. That's nice solid sound, and you won't feel it yield anymore. This outer edge here is a little bit wider than where the bearing actually sits, so that's why that comes out fairly easy. And that's obviously where your seal goes, which I know I've been at it as a screwdriver, but it was looking a little bit more ropey than it should have been. And again, just tap that home. I think I've put a little bit of red grease, just the tiniest bit, just in case there's any friction between that inner race and the rubber seal. Make sure that's all clean. And that should go on finger tight. Again, you want to get it nice and even. There you go. As I say, just finger tight. Good enough. All flush, look. Flush across the top there. So that's your sprocket carrier bearing done. So I just need to get the new sprocket off of here and the new shiny nuts. You can't beat shiny nuts, I tell you. There we go. Oh. Try not to lose your bolts. Don't throw them everywhere. Right. So, you see on the bottom there, you've got a flat area where the flat part of the bolt sits, which obviously stops it turning while you put your shiny nuts on, which will need a reshine when I'm done. Definitely feel a bit more confident that my sprocket carrier ain't going to break up when I give it some beans. Although I had put it back on the bike and that, I wasn't going to give it too much stress. It'd probably taken it, as I say, there's only hairline cracks in it, probably easily have taken it, but once you know, it changes the ball game, doesn't it? I mean, the hairline cracks could have been there for yonks. That's a technical term. So they're all on, and once I actually put that back into the wheel, I'll torque them up to the correct torque setting. Right, so this thing got covered in shit. And again, check it for any visible signs of mushrooming. You know, if you've over tightened it and this has been at some sort of angle or something, you can get well, sort of a mushrooming effect at the top where it's been squashed. Chips and nicks, and just check it for everything. Give it a bit of a clean, because they don't come out to play very often, so get all the grit and shit that you can off. That looks good. Yeah, it feels good. Feels good. And again, I'm just going to put a bit of white grease on this, just so it slots in nice and got a bit of lube. There you go. Nice. Nice. Right, so the next thing is to do the wheel bearings.